You said you said it twice. Something that's very important, that at events of the magnitude that we're getting ready to go into in Philly, with thousands upon thousands of people and limited manpower, it's very likely that the police officers will not recognize some of the basic principles and procedures and rights and that we would expect in a normal encounter. And so is that why we saw in Baton Rouge, and we saw in Ferguson, we saw in Baltimore, where, without saying anything, they go directly to arrest someone and detain someone? Help us understand how that happens, and what do you do in that type of scenario?
Well, it's funny. We're lucky the convention's in Pennsylvania, because in certain states, criminal law is different by state. In Pennsylvania, you actually have a right to record a police officer in his official capacity. So that means, I was in New York at the protest, and one of the first things the police officers were saying was, turn off your phone, stop recording.
Mm-hmm.
No one should do that in any case, but they don't have the right to tell you that. But in Pennsylvania, you're allowed to record whatever they're doing. So as in the other states, what you were referring to, it just basically rights and procedures went out the window, again, because of the threat and the magnitude. But in that scenario, if your rights are completely going out the window, you need to do your best to record whatever's going on. So something I would suggest is, if you feel you're going to be under arrest, take your cell phone, whatever your device might be, put it in your jacket pocket or a pocket where it will be able to pick up your voice, and narrate very calmly what's going on. I am not resisting arrest. I am doing whatever you say, this, that, the other. I am interlocking my fingers behind my head. Whatever you feel is, or whatever you are observing in that scenario, just narrate. If the cop's being aggressive, discuss it, provide details. Because later on, that's going to be your only evidence in any way, shape, or form. Because other than that, it's your word versus the officer's word, and people are going to believe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let's go into some more specifics then. So at what point do the police officers just move to arrest? Like, in my mind, like every time I see mass arrests, I'm like, okay, they must have given some order that was not acquiesced to, or are they simply there and now they're shutting the protests down? Like, what actions will these protesters likely do to cause their arrest?
Well, that's the thing. These are very different protests than have ever been had before in certain regards, because it's this many people unified. So even if you're not being obstructive, or you're not protesting violently, or you're not bothering anybody, I honestly do believe that to an extent the cops are just going to be intimidated by the sheer amount of people, and they're going to just start taking people away with the zip tie plastic bands that they use and putting them on a bus, and that's it. So, but the most important thing in that type of scenario, even if they give an order to that, you need to stop doing this, you need to stop doing that, essentially do it. You're not helping anybody by getting arrested, and you're definitely not helping anybody by getting harmed. So, again, I don't believe that they're going to follow the normal protocol saying cease, desist, this is an unlawful protest, whatever it might be. But you do have a right to protest, and you do have a right to be there, as long as you're not obstructing anything, or that you're not blocking the streets, things of that nature, essentially.